Welcome back and prepare to be bedazzled, because today I'm going to be demystifying why most real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand in the broken economy that is in a ceaseless economic depression have not offered job security since at least 2008, even though the real unemployment rate is at least 97%. So why does this happen to be the case, you may ask? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to demystify that answer to that degree right here, right now. Lamentably, much to my dismay, much to my consternation, much to my chagrin, much to my grief, much to my agony, much to my agitation, and much to my irritation, most real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand are often deemed to be dead-end, highly time-depleting, debilitating, minimum wage, dispiriting, unfulfilling, undesirable, harrowing, distressful, brutally wretched, and agonizing jobs that not only dispossess an employee out of almost of a sacrosanct time, but that also do not furnish him with anything close to even one-fourth of a subsistence wage, affording housing. Furthermore, most real private sector employers do not offer any benefits nor pensions to the real private sector employees. Moreover, a copious amount of real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand have hazardous employee working conditions that render the employee at a high probability to succumb to a workplace injury. You never want to succumb to a workplace injury and become maimed. Most of the profits that companies generate are reserved for their executives, their shareholders, and their external directors. Companies are recalcitrant about offering job security to their real private sector employees, since it would be unconducive to allowing them to minimize their labor costs, even though the real unemployment rate is at least 97%. There are still a surfeit of candidates who are willing to work real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand, even though they furnish employees with remuneration at the minimum wage pay grade. It is all the more easier for companies to offer massive compensations to their executives if they forgo offering job security to their real private sector employees. It is all the more easier for companies to offer sizable retainer fees to their external directors if they forgo offering job security to their real private sector employees. It is all the more easier for companies to maximize the wealth of their shareholders in the short haul if they forgo offering job security to their real private sector employees. It is all the more easier for companies to maximize their profits in the short haul if they forgo offering job security to their real private sector employees. Companies are keen on maximizing the productivity level of the real private sector workforce. If they were to furnish job security to the real private sector employees, then they would forgo having the option to oust the real private sector employees on their employee positions on a whim, with or without cause, if they were not maximizing their productivity level at all times during their employee shifts. Companies expect their real private sector employees to maximize their productivity levels at all times during their employee shifts, the caveat of when the real private sector employees are on their breaks. So, even though the real unemployment rate is steep, staggering, and exorbitant at least 97%, there are still millions of people who are amenable to working real private sector employee jobs based on voluntary demand. So companies have a cornucopia of candidates to choose from, and they can displace their employees with artificial intelligence powered robots if they so choose to do so. And they also have the option to swap out their employees in the event that they surmise that new employees being onboarded into their companies will be able to outperform their current employees, even though there's no guarantee that this specific outcome will be brought to fruition. It is an enigma as to whether or not their prospective employees will be able to outperform their current employees. Companies want to be able to reserve the right to abruptly oust their employees from their employee positions on a whim, with or without cause, and offering job security to their real private sector employees would cause them to forgo the opportunity to have that option available to them. They do not want to forfeit that option to customize their real private sector employee workforce to be tailored to their preferences. So I hope that you deem this video to be riveting, captivating, mesmerizing, insightful, intriguing, engrossing, and amusing. I hope that you're entrenched in the unalloyed epicness. Thanks for watching. Have a blissful day.